I think it's incredibly important that Americans overseas exercise their right to vote. People around the world today are still fighting for the right to vote. I think it's very easy as Americans to take for granted the right to vote. And you look at the history, as recently as the 20th century, there were, women didn't have the right to vote in America in a lot of places. 18-year-olds didn't have the right to vote in America in a lot of places. And the Civil Rights Act continued to give additional voting rights because there were lots of different issues with the Civil Rights Movement where people were denied the right to vote. So I think it's part of our civic duty as Americans to exercise our right to vote. And I think it's incredibly important that we exercise that part of what it means to be an American, that part of our citizenship. And as American citizens living overseas, we all have the right to vote where we last lived in America, using our last address, even if we have no connection with that state whatsoever. People often wonder where it is that they vote, how they exercise their right to vote, because they've been out of the country for so long. And in fact, for American citizens who have never lived in the United States, many states allow them to vote where their U.S. parent last lived. So if they know the address of their American parent, then many states will let them vote where that parent last lived. So most Americans living outside the United States have an address in a state that they can use to exercise their right to vote. And that means that they can vote for the local member of Congress, and they can also vote for their senator. And this year there are 37 Senate seats up. It's usually 33 or 34, but there are several special elections this year because Senator Biden became vice president, and Senator Clinton became Secretary of State, and Senator Byrd of West Virginia has died recently, and there are special elections to fill the remainder of their term, in addition to the 34 Senate seats that are up as part of the rotating cycle. The senators sit for 6 years, but a third of the Senate is up for re-election every 2 years.